Welcome back, everyone. LANCESCURV here, the Scurv podcast. I am your host. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying these conversations, or rather monologues and the responses. And I want to keep on going deeper. You know, in social media, we have so many bits of content that really can average us out to not thinking as we should. It somewhat clogs our mind up. You know, we scroll endlessly and we're absorbing this stuff. And I'm quite sure you can agree that this world, the way it is now, the mentality, the thought process, the word haters, the envy, the jealousy, it can clog you up. Not that I'm saying you have these characteristics. It's just that the wars and threats of war and just money being tight, working more, just all of those different things, it can just clog you up. And like I always say, it's like taking a bath hoping to get clean in dirty bath water. So how do we deal with this? How do we find ourselves at this place called happiness? It's almost like thinking about heaven right now, because happiness, you can feel a bit of it, and there's always a reason in the world to have it snatched away. But then again, happiness is not guaranteed to be a continuous state of mind. Like, I've been continuously happy for the last 5 years, never had a dull moment, never had a negative moment or a bad moment. No, that's not realistic to think that way. But I do think that we can push the needle over a little bit more to having a little bit more happiness. And how do we do that? Well, you know, I'm always thinking about stuff like that. And it's really about our perspective, how we see it. And that's pretty much the sum total of this particular monologue, but I'm going to go deep. But for those who are in a rush, that's pretty much it. It's how you view your world and what you choose. And this is why the title of this particular monologue is Happiness is a Daily Choice. How perspective determines the quality of your life. Many people say they want happiness, peace, and abundance, but their daily habits say something else. What you do every day shapes how you feel, what you attract, and how you see your life. If your routine is filled with negativity, distraction, and complaint, that energy multiplies whether you notice it or not. I just want to give a big shout out to my dear sister, who, I'm not going to put a name out there, but she's been going to the gym, and I was awakened. Well, I was already up, but that was the first message that I saw. And she was so happy with her progress at the gym and her body perfecting routine, or body shaping rather. And her gratitude toward me made me really feel good, and I'll say that publicly. Many of you know, many decades ago, I used to play around in the sport of bodybuilding, drug-free. And I got to know a lot of things about the human body that people are still learning today, because I went deep in it. Oh, I was a student of that game. So months ago, I shared some nuggets that, to me, were commonplace with the guys that I used to train with. You know, how we studied the body, nutrition. It went beyond just lifting weights. And when she showed me this appreciation, where she's always appreciative of little things that I share, and I'm appreciative of her for the things that she enlightens me to. But her appreciation made me feel that, wow, I have these dusty nuggets sitting in my garage. I forgot about them. They're not appreciated. And she utilized them. I dusted them off, and she utilized it and brought value to what I thought was devalued. And even though I'm not in that world anymore, it made me feel so good. And I'm going to let her know that. I think I already did, but I'm going to let her know that. See, it's the same phenomenon that happens when you have, let's just say, a grandparent, or let's just say a great grandparent, because grandparents are getting younger and younger by the decade, right? You have that great grandparent that lives far away. They have great grandchildren. But say, for example, the living arrangements change and that grandparent or great grandparent is moves into a situation where they are around the rest of their family. And being around their great grandchildren, and children will breathe more life into you because you realize that you're needed. And it may be for something simple. Now, your grandparents, or not your grandparents, but her or his grandchildren can go to the store without having to worry about the children. You can read the lessons from school to them. Your wisdom you can transfer. You have the time. So this breathes life into you because you're needed. When that great-grandparent lived by themselves in another state far away, they began to get consumed with negative thoughts like, I've outlived my usefulness. And you need that human contact. You need that feeling of being needed and loved, even if it's for the simple things. Even if you just sit next to the person that's your family or your loved one and you enjoy quiet time together. You're just sitting there. It's a sweet thing to be bored together, which you can never be bored with each other, but just to have that downtime and to have the gratitude that they're there and to know that you're wanted to be there. So that was a good feeling for me, that my bodybuilding knowledge that I have bouncing around in my head because I follow the sport every day. I don't like the drugs that they're using, but I'm still fascinated with the good things you can do with your body on a healthier level. That made me really feel good. The gratitude. So I have lots of gratitude toward her for sharing that she appreciated me and is using what I know and helping her to make improvements. Maybe that didn't make sense, but I just have to say, I do choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice. It's not going to be that long, continuous road with no bumps or no speed bumps or no potholes. But if you can enjoy the fact that you're in a vehicle, you're moving forward, you're getting to your destination, and this is not about just a vehicle, I'm just saying in life, moving through life, try to focus on those good things that oftentimes we take for granted. Because to be negative, there's a lot of that in the world. And negative activities don't always look dramatic. Sometimes they're small, quiet choices made on repeat. Constant complaining, consuming bad news, like I just said, staying around draining people, or replaying the same negative thoughts can slowly pull your mindset lower. Over time, that low energy becomes normal. Could you imagine that? The negative low energy becoming normalcy for you. And it's subtle how it creeps into your head. And yes, we go through bad times sometimes, and negative thoughts will try to pile up, dominate our thoughts. I'm not saying that when you're going through something that, well, I choose to be happy. I'm 6 months behind on my bills. My car got repossessed. I had many deaths in the family. I have a terminal illness now, but I choose. You're going to feel it. No doubt. But like I always say, you have to embrace the sour in order to appreciate what's sweet. So just as much as you may feel low energy or negativity coming around you, trying to permeate your inner being, it just can't stay that way. It just can't stay that way. There's coming a time, because life is cyclical, cycles. Some cycles may unexpectedly last longer. Like right now, we're in the dry season here in Ghana, West Africa. And during the dry season, it may have, there's no rain. The soil dries up. But you may have a little mist, a light sprinkling for a few minutes, but it's usually nothing. But the other day, I heard thunder. Now this is the dry season. Man, it was a heck of a storm. It didn't last all day long, but man, the soil was moist, the trees were blowing. It was like any other time during the rainy season. So you just never know. When everything is good, sometimes bad happens. When you think it's going to be perpetually bad, good will come. But choose to focus on those things that bring you happiness, because happiness is a choice. Abundance is not just about money or success. It's about how full your life feels. It's about peace, clarity, and gratitude. And those things start internally, long before they show up externally. So no matter what is going on around you, the peace, the clarity, the gratitude, it starts internally. It's like a fire that you're trying to start out in the wild to cook your food, but you kind of shield the match from blowing out because of the slight wind that's going on. You don't want that match to blow out. So you coddle the fire, and you put it to the wood, you put it to the leaves, you let the fire catch, and now that becomes normalcy for you. But there are daily habits that lower your energy, and you have to know what it is to avoid them. See, everyday behavior matters more than big moments. What you watch, what you listen to, what you dwell on shapes your emotional state. When you constantly engage in negative content or negative people, your mind adapts to that frequency. See? For example, waking up and immediately focusing on what's wrong sets the tone for the entire day. Complaining about your job, your body, your situation, or your past keeps your mind locked in lack. Who wants to stay locked in lack? You got a whole full day ahead of you. You're just waking up, and you go right back to the negative. And there are people who will call you up to remind you that you need to stay in the negative. They're not going to say, well, it's a new day, let's be negative today. No, here they come with their stories from years ago, and and I know that we can reminisce about the good old days. I understand that, but just keeping focus on that and saying, oh, those were the best days. What about today? We're giving up the present because of the illusion of the past that's gone. And it was real at one time, but what about today? You see, your mind adapts to that frequency. It doesn't make any sense. Even when opportunities appear, you may not see them because your focus is already narrowed. You could have the answer to your dilemma that you may be going through right in your face. But because in your mind, you're focusing on everything negative, you don't see it. You're not aware of it. There's a couple of times, when I have spectacles, my glasses, on my head, you flip it up and it's on your forehead. And I'm running around the house looking for it. Like, I can't believe, I don't know where I put these glasses down. And after a while, I pass by a mirror and see them on my head. And the frustration was building up that I couldn't find it. But if I had just relaxed and realized, and I felt them on my head, but my mind was so caught up in the fact that I possibly lost it. I know we all have gone through stuff like that. Low energy habits don't bring relief. They bring repetition. You stay stuck in the same emotional loop, wondering why nothing changes while doing the same things daily. Breaking this cycle doesn't require perfection. It requires awareness. Once you see how your habits affect your mood and outlook, you gain the power to change them. Gratitude is not pretending everything is perfect. It's choosing to acknowledge what's still working in your life. No matter where you are, there's something you can appreciate if you look at it honestly. You woke up today. Your body moves. You can think, feel, and choose. You may have people who care about you, even if your circle is small. These are not small things, even though they are easy to overlook. Someone out there wishes they had your health. Somebody out there wishes they had your body, your appearance, or your support system. Someone wishes they could move freely, breathe without pain, or wake up without fear. Age doesn't protect anyone from suffering. People younger and older than you are struggling in ways you may never see and couldn't imagine. You know, when you go about your day and you see someone who has an ailment or some type of disability, I'm not saying that we have to use that to feel better about ourselves. No, I'm not saying that. But try to think about what reality might be for them. Think about it. If they're in a wheelchair, if they can't walk, if they have to remain bedridden to stay alive because of apparatus that's connected to them, whatever it may be, and you're walking and breathing, moving freely, have balance, parts are working, that alone should make you understand that you're blessed. You're blessed. No matter how much in debt you may be, no matter how much your heart aches because of a recent relationship breakup, we can latch on to things and play it over in our head. Yes, we have to deal with things. We have to think about things because certain things hurt on different levels. But really and truly, if we can just focus on those simple things that we have, it'll change the outlook greatly. It has really helped me out a whole lot. I never had a problem with that. I've always been pretty much hard to bring down. But when I would feel it through the energies around me, I would counterattack those energies by going within myself and thinking about the things that I have going for myself. You see, it works every time. Perspective is powerful. Two people can live the same life and experience it completely different based on how they interpret it. One sees obstacles, the other sees lessons. And on that note, have you ever known a family where they had multiple children? And you know some of those children growing up, you get older and you speak about your experiences, and it's amazing how you can have one sibling give a completely different account of their childhood as opposed to the other. One will give you this wonderful version of their childhood, which pretty much just may be real for them. And the other one, they can't stand their parents. They can't stand their father. Wait a second. And I've seen families where the majority of the siblings had a wonderful childhood, and there's always that one who stuck to the negativity. So it's like synchronized swimming, the scoring. In synchronized swimming, the top scorer is omitted and the bottom score is omitted, and then it's averaged in. So I'd have to say for that family, that oddball who had this bad experience, he's in loony land, imagining things. And I've seen situations like that that have been proven. So we can see the same thing completely different. What's the difference? It's our mindset. It's how we think. When you train your mind to look for what's right instead of what's wrong, your stress lowers, and that's a proven fact. Your patience increases. You respond instead of react. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or challenges, as I like to say. It means not letting problems or challenges define your entire reality. You have fearmongers that come around you. People who try to pull your energy down because they think this way. So you may have a minor obstacle that may happen in your life, and here they come. Oh, you got that flat tire on your car. It may be an indication that the whole suspension's bad. What are you gonna do if that whole suspension's bad? You don't really have the money to fix the car now. What are you talking about? It's a flat tire. Maybe an alignment or rotating the tires when I get my new tires will remedy the problem. They will pull you into the deep hole and abyss of despair because they think that way, and they want to superimpose that over your mind as a template of perpetual negativity. And if you know how they are and who they are, you know how to not let it affect you, because you're expecting this if it's somebody in your life close. It's like, okay, I know how they're going to talk. And when you negate what they say, when they're really trying hard on your mind to bring you into that negative place, and you speak something positive with that, see, they don't like it. They'll stop it after a while, and they'll realize how their mind is. You don't want to argue with them. Why are you so negative? You're always coming around me, because that in itself is negative. Just wrap yourself in positivity. Oh, the tire's flat today. I was late for work. You know what? I'm calling out and I'm going to the beach. I need a day off. You know, that flat tire was a blessing. I'm going to the beach. What are they going to say? You can find something positive in anything. Watch these people who infiltrate your mind. Optimism is not wishful thinking. It's a decision to believe that improvement is possible. It's choosing to see your life as something still in progress rather than something already ruined. Once your perspective changes, your actions follow. You make better choices. You speak differently to yourself. You stop tearing yourself down for where you are and start building toward where you want to go. There's always a future. Time is moving by. Why do we think that where we are is absolute? Why? You know, I had a situation where a bunch of us, this is back in the late 80s, and a bunch of us went to a party in Brooklyn. You know, I lived in Queens. I was born in Manhattan, but I lived in Queens. And it was a Caribbean type party dominated by Jamaicans. And it was in this building, this really huge apartment building that was being renovated. We didn't question anything, but it was up on like the 5th or 6th floor. I think it was more like the 4th floor. There was no elevator in the building. We had to climb steps. So as soon as we drove up in front of this building, we heard the music even from 2 blocks away. Doom, 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 doom. We saw the women in front, a few of the fellas standing out front, drinking their Heinekens and puffing on things that smelled the place up, which I didn't do, never did that. So we walk up the steps and the place is packed. As we walked up the steps and saw the different floors that were also being renovated, we saw tools and I thought to myself, it's so funny they leave their expensive tools out. And it just crossed my mind really quick. See, I got up on that floor and the walls of most of the apartments were gutted out, so it was one big floor. And that was the way it was on the floor below. I noticed that. It was strange. So people are packing in, people are dancing. They had makeshift lights somehow strung up. I know the place had to have light for it to be worked on, but it was just some kind of makeshift stuff where there was a string of light bulbs hanging, and some of them were colored blue and green and red, to make a festive kind of feel. So people were enjoying themselves. There was no fighting, no negative feel. But I noticed that the floor didn't feel super stable from all of the people that were there. And you got to remember that certain structures are not made to hold so many people. And I didn't remember, but the walls were gutted out on the floor below and on that floor. So the weight-bearing walls were gone. So when people are jumping up and down dancing, the floor seemed to move up and down by about an inch or two. Like it was a trampoline, but not as much. And so here I am dancing. I didn't know the young lady or the two young ladies that were dancing, but that's how it is. You dance at each other. You're not up on each other, but you're having fun. You're smiling, you're throwing your little moves, you're dancing. And something told me to just move over a little bit because I was like in the middle of this whole place. And I'm dancing and I feel the floor shift and I hear screaming. Well, thank the Creator that I heard that voice to move away from the middle of the floor and near the door, because the whole floor collapsed and people fell to the floor below. And the screaming, the shock. Nobody was unalived. But imagine the terror. You're dancing and all of a sudden you're dropping and you heard the wood, the floor. And people fell on each other. Some people were hurt. I don't know how deeply. But we hurried up, those of us who could, and got out of there. There's a payphone downstairs that was already being used to call the police. They had cell phones back there, but most people didn't have cell phones in the late 80s. You know how expensive it was back then. But that was a lesson to me. And I prayed in my heart that everybody would be all right. And they had to get the able bodies out of there, the ambulances, when they came, and the police and fire department. So it's not like us leaving was cruel. What were we going to do? Stay there and help without the knowledge on how to handle the situation? But the dust, oh my God, that was an old building too. The dust, people were coughing, screaming, bloody, because as we walked down the stairwell, we saw where they fell. I know one woman, her hip might have been dislocated. She was on the ground screaming and hysterical too, because that's a shock. But nobody lost their life. At the time that it happened, that had to be the worst thing, because the floor broke right behind me. I turned around, there was nobody, screaming in darkness. The music continued for a little while, maybe 15 seconds, until the DJ realized the power wasn't shut off. But my God, it was hard for me to go anywhere like that. Come to find out, That party was not supposed to be going on in that building. The owner, the construction company, nobody was contacted. Somebody decided, we're going to go up there, we're going to bring our sound equipment, and we're going to put the word out that we're having a party. And when you have music blaring like that in Brooklyn, it's just a matter of time before it fills up. And it was free, but they had an area over on the other side where they were selling drinks. They do that without a license. Now, that alone, but that attracted people. And they started the music from early, so people were like, oh, I'm going to dress up, get myself spiffy, and go back over there. And look what happened. Not to be negative, but we have to find the positive in everything. Nobody lost their life. They got hurt, bruised up, punctured here and there, but nobody lost their life. And there's somebody out there that may remember that was there, that may hear this and say, I was there. It always happens. 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I'll check back on the comments here, or a comment will pop up. It's like, wow, they remembered. But here's the thing. You can't attract abundance while living in constant dissatisfaction. The energy you carry determines what you notice and what you allow in your life. You make that final decision. Being abundant means appreciating what you already have while still aiming higher. What you already have. Not comparing yourself to the next person. It means enjoying progress instead of only chasing outcomes. It's okay to go after outcomes, but what do you already have? What have you already accrued? And realize that there's so many people who wish they were in your shoes. When you operate from gratitude, you move with confidence instead of desperation. Happiness doesn't wait for perfect conditions. Never. It grows in a space where appreciation lives. I'm going to say that again. Happiness doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It grows in the space where appreciation lives. The more you acknowledge your blessings, the more grounded and peaceful you become. This mindset doesn't remove challenges, understand that, but it changes how heavy they feel. And that emotional shift makes everything more manageable. Your daily habits are either lifting you up or quietly pulling you down. No neutrality, either up or down. So you have to check yourself. Nothing changes until you become aware of what you are feeding your mind. Gratitude is not denial. It's strength. It allows you to see clearly without losing hope. Someone out there is wishing for the life you currently are living. That doesn't mean you stop improving, but it does mean you stop dismissing what you already have. Optimism is a choice you must make daily, especially when life feels heavy. That's the challenge. It's a discipline that protects your peace. Optimism. When you shift your energy, your life responds. Start by appreciating what's already in your hands. See, we can dream, we can have goals, and lots of times, if we haven't reached those goals, it may seem like, well, it's going to take extra time, of course. And sometimes it feels like you'll never reach them. But you have something in your hand already, something that's concrete, something that's real, something to appreciate, which was one time a goal. Now you reach that. Sit on that for a while. Still aim high, of course, but enjoy what you have. I knew a kid who was so greedy in this particular family that I grew up with. He would have a big plate of food in front of him, and he's looking at everybody else's plate mad. because he wanted the plate that he had, and he wanted everybody else's plate. And he had a mean look on his face. He wasn't appreciating what he had on his own plate. So me, there are things I have and there's things I don't have. I truly appreciate what I have. And I'm optimistic for the things that I have yet to attain, but that doesn't define me, because those goals are good, but they can also make you feel as though you're in a deep hole, because I can't live until I have that. I can't live until I have that. I can't be happy until I have that. What do you have? What have you achieved? It doesn't mean sitting down in one spot and saying, well, I achieved this and I'm going to ride on this for the rest of my life. But as you move toward the goal, keep it in your heart that you have already achieved a modicum of what you ultimately want, and enjoy the process. Maybe I should save that for another video, but for me, whatever I do, it's not the end result. It's the joy of the process, the joy of building, the joy of embellishing my life, the joy of discovering things that I like and that I implement into my life. Me. Not being selfish, but focusing on what brings you joy. If you have a bucket to fill and there are other people around you who have a bucket of water that they want to fill, and there's only one water spout over there, you get in line. Once you have your bucket full, you can't get angry at the people coming behind you trying to fill their buckets. You can't get mad at the people who are already filling their buckets and you have a couple of people in front of you. It's a process. You will get yours. Enjoy the process. When I draw a picture, write an article, construct a show, create a banner, these are little joys that spice up my day. I mean, most people who are not vegan, they like a piece of chicken every now and then. Let's just say that. You don't eat the chicken plain. You have your way of seasoning the chicken. Now, if you're in Italy and you have chicken in a restaurant, the way they season it in Italy, it's going to taste different than you eating some spicy chicken from a Mexican restaurant. The same way it's going to be different from a Japanese restaurant. Same chicken, different seasoning. Same life, well, not exactly the same, but we're alive. So the next person is going to go after different things. It doesn't mean your choice is wrong or yours is right. Flavor your life the way you need to. Flavor your life the way you desire. As long as you're not hurting anybody, stealing from somebody, you're good. Enjoy. I know there's discipline that we have to have in this world, because it can be difficult sometimes and we can feel as though we're swimming upstream when it comes to reaching our goals. But you know what? The bottom line is that you will reach them if you have persistence, and you can't wait to be happy until you get them. I knew somebody who said, well, I'll be happy when I get that Rolls Royce. But you're on a limited income. You don't have a bigger income, and you're going to sit there, which I'm not knocking you for the income, but I kind of think it takes a little money to get a Rolls Royce. So you're telling yourself, because words are possible, that you are not going to be happy until you get that Rolls Royce. Well, by the way your income stream is going, and unless you come into big money, I guess you're never going to be happy. And that's not negative. It's just about being realistic. Again, you're setting yourself up for defeat when you declare that you will not be happy until you reach a particular goal. That goes against everything that I just mentioned. I never said not to have a goal. But the bottom line is, appreciate what you have. If you can think back as I often do when I meditate, not being stuck in the past, but really looking back at my path, what got me to this point in life. And the things that I desired or thought I wanted back in those days, let's take it back several decades. For me, let me go back 4 decades, 62 now, soon to be 63. Let's take it to when I was 22 years old. Oh man, everything was different. The things I wanted at that point, it's ridiculously small compared to my desires now. But I truly appreciate things now, because after living a little bit of life, I can see how things can go. The unexpected turns, the unexpected twists of the plot that can exist in your life. It's like a story. And we control a lot of that story. Yes, there are things that happen externally, but our mindset determines the basic plot of our own personal story. That's something that I've learned. In my plot, in the story of LANCESCURV X, it's about overcoming. It's about breaking through to the next level, going higher while appreciating what I have and never forgetting where I came from. Not just the neighborhood that I lived in. Most of us make that statement to mean that. But to know where I came from, not just on a physical level, but on a mental, psychological level, spiritual level, emotional level. I'm gonna tell you something right now that you can't argue with. And I don't think I know everything. And this depends on your age, your chronological age. Not to discriminate, but if you're 15 years old, you might not understand this all the way, but you will understand this in time. But the things that brought fear to you way back then, they don't put fear in your heart now, because you've defeated situations that brought fear on that level. So now when you go through it again and say, okay, I've been through this before. Like a well-trained fighter who fought every style there is to fight in boxing. If you're a neophyte, if you're just starting out as a professional, which any good manager should have a trainer to teach you the different styles. But if you're new to this thing, you can catch an easy defeat if you're not prepared. But after a while, the things that brought fear to your heart, you pick your teeth with it now. Just the same way the things that you desired when you were much younger, sometimes you have to scratch your head and say, what in the heck was I thinking about wanting that? Just the same way when we desired someone to be in our life on a relationship level, and we thought so highly of this person, even if you didn't think highly of them, you were attracted to them. And then you look back and say, whoa, I'm glad that never happened, because I dodged a bullet. Imagine if I got with that person. I didn't see what was inside that person, and it would have been an outright disaster. But maturity and taking a few bumps along the way will teach you. And if only we can import the wisdom that we have in the present day back to the times when we were younger, we'd be so much better off. But I don't regret where I am. I'm very happy with where I am. And I'm very happy with the wisdom I have accrued through those bumps and bruises that I took, the misjudgments, which I'll never call mistakes. It's a misjudgment. But if you're here and listening to this, you've endured. You made it through. You overcome. You're successful. See, success means different things to different people, and the older you get, you realize that you are successful for what you've already attained. Even if you're not where you really want to be, you're still in the game. You're still in the game. And life is not a game. I'm just saying that as a figure of speech. It ain't over. You're still in the game. You might be a little bit behind by your scale, by your sense of measurement, but you're not out of it, because things can turn around. And when you think right, things will turn around. They will turn around. But you have to know this. And many people, their thought processes are not trained enough from within, because you have to train your mind to be optimistic. If you can't see the good coming, it won't come. And even if it did, you wouldn't recognize it if your mind is negative. These last few days, I've been saying I want to put out more than one piece of content, and I've been putting out just one. Because right now there's so much work and construction and different things going on around me, and oh, we need this, and you got to go across town to get that, and you got to go to the bank, and it's like, wait a second, when does it end? But I'm appreciative to do what I can do. When things settle, it's on and popping. But whatever you do it good. Focus. Bring out the best in yourself. Put it out there, and it will be appreciated. But the main thing, you have to love yourself, appreciate yourself, and know that no matter how many times you've told your story, your life story, or what you're going through in the present time, whether it's good or bad, no matter what it has been, understand that no one else will completely understand it like you. Yes, you'll have your family, you have who you're in a relationship with, if you are in one, or the people you have relationships with, from close friends all the way down to associates. Whatever they know of you, they don't know the whole story. Only you know every moment of every minute, hour, day, week, month, decade of your life brought to you. You hold the scars. And like I said the other day when I spoke about the woman that I knew, that I was close to, that had stretch marks, and she thought they were ugly. And I told her they were badges of honor. They're not scars. It's proof that you brought beautiful lives into this world. And it should be looked at as a thing of beauty, the process of life. It's all how you look at it. So what you may say is a wound, yes, it can hurt. When it scars up, you never forget it. Things that hurt you, you watch a movie and you see a part in it that strikes you a certain way, and you can't help but shed tears. You hear a song that reminds you of a time that you went through some rough times, and to yourself, and even when you're around people, you might be on public transportation, you might be in the checkout line of the supermarket, and the song plays over, and you're thinking about it, and you're fighting back tears, and tears will fall. Because you remember, you've been through it, you caught the scars, you feel it still, but you've overcome. Don't stay in that place mentally too long. But you have a right to feel what you feel, because you're human. But being human, you might get knocked down a little bit. But to be optimistic about your future and have gratitude for what you have, it will help to lift you up and keep you moving on. And this is how we can be self-sufficient in our ascension. where, yes, as human beings, we do need others. But you can minimize that need because sometimes you'll be going through things and there'll be nobody around to assist you. You have to be able to pull yourself up. And one of the foundations on doing so is to do a check on your life, on the things that you know are good, the things that you have. And I'm not talking about material items now. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about your characteristics, the life you live, the vision that you have, not just through your eyes, but the vision. Are you a visionary for your own life? Or are you letting other people construct your life? Did you hand them the wheel to your vehicle? If you do that and sit in the passenger seat of your own life, they're going to go to where they want to go. In your vehicle, in your life. And your energy will be used to fulfill somebody else's purpose. That's a whole other subject. That's how my mind works. I sneeze the wrong way and a topic pops up in my brain. That's the truth. So that's why I enjoy vibing on these levels. But there's so much that we have to be aware of. It's not overwhelming where it's too much. It's just that as we move through life, we should be learning, growing, gaining in wisdom, but no matter what, because there are people who have accrued so much of what they call success in their life. And catastrophes can happen where it's all snatched away. Quick. Almost immediate. How do they deal with that? We've known people who have gone through so much stuff and kept coming back. And I say this in a very humble manner. I know I'm one of them. And I know there are a few frenemies and enemies who might listen to this and say, damn it, he's right. Because I just knew I had him in that bottomless pit, an abyss of defeat. And yes, you have to also cheerlead yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you're egotistical or narcissistic, but what you gonna do? Let people just walk all over your life and bring you into that negative place? Because you can't go positive and go positive places with negative thoughts in your head. Here you are in Texas trying to get to California, but you have the directions to go to New York. You'll never end up in California. You're taking the wrong direction. So the direction of negativity is never going to land you in that positive place. But how many of us realize that? It's a heck of a thing. But like I said in the beginning, happiness is a daily choice. How perspective determines the quality of your life. And you can be a person who doesn't have much as far as material goods. And you can have a higher quality of life than those who have immeasurable riches over the horizon. They may not have peace of mind. I'm not saying because they're wealthy that they don't. You still can. It's a little more challenging because that type of success can blur your vision to see inward. And it doesn't mean that if you don't have much, that everything is okay. It doesn't matter where you fall on the scale and spectrum of material wealth. This is something completely different. How is it that we can see an older woman? It could be an older man. But we know this person, and we've heard that this person went through a lot. They might be in their late 80s, still up and around and about. And when they walk down the street, they greet you, they smile, and they have that perpetual smile on their face. And when you found out that they battled several illnesses, when you found out that they lost 2 children in war, when you found out that they buried another child because the child had some type of illness, their husband died, they lost the big property and business that she had with the husband, and now she's in a little apartment. But she has that smile because she has gratitude for what she has at this point. There are people who are 20 years old who can't walk. Here she is in her late 80s, going to the supermarket and shopping. You can't lose when you have gratitude, because there's always something, no matter how small. That's where we start. That's the foundation that we stand on, and that's how we build up. That's the only way to build a life, and you will see success. Remember, success is what you determine success to be. Don't get into what somebody is pushing on you as their success to make you feel bad for what you don't have on their scale. Oh yes, I just bought my 5th luxury vehicle and I feel, well, more power to you. I'm happy for you. Some of these people want you to feel bad because they're trying to pull you into their lane of what they think success is. Success for me, I love talking and doing these little podcasts. They don't get much hits since they took down the other channel. I know I'm shadow banned. Does that make me feel bad that I can't? No, I enjoy what I do, sincerely. I do it for the love and the connections and the time you all take to make a comment or say something or share something. I'm a mom and pop operation, and I'm quite happy with it, because when I wake up and look out that window and see the beautiful view, one day I'm not going to be here, and that beautiful view will still be here. But I'm so full of gratitude that throughout all my life and all the bumps, bruises, and scars that I've taken, that I find myself at this junction point, and it's such a beautiful place. Beautiful community. My heart has that pleasant ache, that ache of happiness from within. Yes, you have to block out the negativity. Block it out and ignore it. Block it out and just don't see it. Sometimes physically, you better build a wall to block that up too. I don't want to see you if you're negative. I protect my peace and peace of mind at all times. And that's what we have to do. In wrapping this up, I just want to say how much I appreciate you. I can't say it enough. And I have a few things to do today, but I'll be working on the next one. Hopefully I'll get that up before the day is over. And I just wish you the best of health, peace of mind, prosperity on your terms, and just understand, find a way to have gratitude for what you already have. No matter how large or small somebody else says it is, you have a reason to be happy because it's a choice. Much love to you all. LANCESCURV on to the next one. It's been highly enjoyable as always. Peace.